boycott the game. We might see the owls every now and again on the rooftop of the building. He told me, son, you will have your building in your video game company. The stupid animals on my building. So when you have all those mass layoffs. Hello cookies, it's Siri, I am back, and today we're going to talk about ESG in video games. I haven't stopped talking about Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn, in my last 4 videos probably. I have mentioned the game because I played the demo on Steam, on the Steam Deck LCD, and absolutely loved it. It's releasing tomorrow and I just can't wait. I am not sponsored by the company, they have not contacted me, they don't know I exist. As I told you in my video about games that are obsolete and dead, I watch a lot of reviews, I read a lot of reviews on Reddit, and I try to see what a game is about before I purchase it, because I am on a budget and also I'm careful what I do with my money. And there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn, on YouTube, at least in the comment sections of the videos that I have seen. I'm not really big on controversies, so I'm not going to address that particular topic. What I have noticed is that people seem to not be pleased about DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion in video games. The one thing that caught my attention is that a lot of people linked ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance, which means sustainability, to DEI, and they said that if they saw ESG anywhere linked to a video game company, they would boycott the game. And as a sustainability specialist, I thought, Every time I explain to people who don't know anything about sustainability what it is I am doing, they think that it entails buying plants and putting plants in people's offices, making everything green. People always have this idea that sustainability is just about saving the animals and plants. It is interesting to me to see that in the video game industry, there is a part of the people that are in that world, I'm not saying everyone, a part of the people who associate sustainability to just DEI, so the social part of ESG, and DEI is a very, very tiny part of the whole ESG scope. So when you say ESG equals DEI, that is really not accurate. They are not synonymous. They're not the same thing. For me, it's like, so this is how people perceive it in this sphere, and this is how people perceive it in this other sphere. Interesting. I like having that input, because it helps me understand better how people think and how we could work together potentially. So let's say that I would be hired by this video game company. Let's call it the big fancy company. And now the CEO of the big fancy company is Brandon, and Brandon is the son of the owner, and the owner is the founder. So basically Brandon doesn't know anything, he's just the CEO because the company belongs to his daddy. And I am the sustainability specialist there. You have the game developers, you have everyone working together trying to make good games. And then we discover that on the rooftop there is a type of protected owls that have made a nest, and you have some cute baby owlets, so they're called owlets. I'm not entirely sure what they're called, but they're so freaking adorable. We might see the owls every now and again on the rooftop of the building. We're like, oh, that is so freaking cute. And then Brandon comes and he is pissed. He's like, oh, I really don't like these animals. You know, my daddy built this building and he built it for me. He told me, son, you will have your building in your video game company, and now the stupid animals on my building and it doesn't look aesthetic anymore. This sucks, do something about it. Brandon, they have to stay. I don't care, Erie. They're really ugly. They're destroying my building. I'm gonna complain to my daddy. Brandon, if we move these owls, they are protected. If we hurt them, we will receive some fines, area fines, and maybe even a country fine, because depending on which region and area, some areas will have stronger protections. Oh, okay, but daddy will help pay those fines. And then I go to the finance guys and I tell them, guys, Brandon wants us to move the owls, but you guys will have to find money out of this company to pay for the fines that we will receive. And they're like,
Oh no, oh my God, oh, Brandon, again.
and then I have to go to Brandon and be like, Brandon, if we move those, we will receive the fines and your daddy will not be pleased. And then he will be like, oh, daddy's not going to be pleased. And I say, no, Brandon, your daddy is not going to be pleased. You're very active on TikTok, right? Yeah, and why? Well, if some animal activists find out that our company kicked out some baby owls from the rooftop due to aesthetic reasons, you might go viral on TikTok and you will look very bad on social media. And then Brandon will go, oh no, that cannot happen. Okay, I have like 6,000 followers, oh my God, and then, oh no, I cannot let that happen. What should we do? Brandon, maybe it's worth it for us to get some specialists in here, some ornithologists who know a lot about birds, and they will let us know what we can do better to protect them so that we can have them on top of the building and we don't receive any fines, and you will look very good as a CEO and your daddy will be very proud of you, and you can use the story for your TikTok. Oh, that is so amazing. I love that, Eerie. So will that cost the company money? Yes, it will cost us a little bit to hire the ornithologists because you have to pay them for the expertise. But I'm pretty sure that the finance guys will prefer paying their fees than paying some fines. The lawyer guys will be happy not to deal with some type of lawsuit, and the marketing people and the PR people will not have to deal with some backlash on the internet. So yes, we will have to pay, but it's worth it for the company. Oh, okay, we shall do that. In my heart, I want to protect the birds, but also I need to protect the company, and we need to make sure that the company doesn't lose money and reputation. So that is just a tiny example of the environmental things. Of course, it's like water, waste, electricity, energy, but there's so many things when it comes to the environment, and that is part of ESG. It's not just DEI. When it comes to social, it's also about treating the developers right. So, when you have all those mass layoffs, it's not good for the morale of the people and for mental health. How relaxed would you be if you just got your dream job doing a video game, your passion job, but you know that it's an industry that just fires people left and right? So you don't know if you can plan for your mortgage for the next 2 years because you don't know whether you will still have your job next year. And this is the S of ESG, the social part, where the company has to make sure that the employees feel good, that they have good pay, that they have fair working hours, that they have holidays, that they don't get so burnt out that they can't work. When it comes to creativity, it's better for companies to have well-rested artists to create the video games. The social part is also about how everyone feels. Let's say that your favorite video game company is working with a retailer. So the retailer is in their value chain, and say the retailer is employing underage illegal immigrants from somewhere and they're paying them poorly and treating them like slaves, so basically modern slavery. So in the S part of the ESG, it's the responsibility of the video game company to make sure that the other companies that work with them, with distribution, with marketing, with PR, or whatever company they're working with, does not have illegal labor, forced labor, child labor. That's also part of it, part of the social thing. Again, the social thing is not just about DEI, there's so much more. There's the people working directly in the company, the people working around the company, the people being affected by the company. And for the governance part, we have everything related to corruption, tanking the competition. So basically, if you try to establish a monopoly, or if you try to damage the reputation of other video game companies, if you try to do some practices that you know are legal, technically legal, but you know will tank all the other competitors, it's not okay to do. That's not a fair way to be in a given market. And so that's also part of the governance. And so now if we take the example of Brandon again, let's say Brandon told all the employees, and it's in the contract, that once a game is released, each employee will receive a percentage of the winnings, which some companies do that. But then, for some weird reason, Brandon and some of the finance guys and some of the HR guys got a really big bonus because the game release was successful. But you working there as a receptionist or working there as a game developer or a writer, a tester, you receive nothing, or you receive less than what you know you should be receiving because you know how much the game made. And then they come up with this like, oh yeah, but due to this and taxes and this clause in your contract and this and that, and they basically hide each other's traces, and the top people, they doing shady stuff, and you will not see that money, but you know that that is corruption and that they are stealing the money. And that is also part of governance, to make sure that this kind of thing would not happen. There's also stakeholder conversation, for example. So if we take governance into account, the company has to talk to the gamers, so you and me, the people that play the games, and ask, hey, do you like the game? How do you see it? And also data protection, that we do not listen to you while you play and record everything that you're doing because we want to protect your privacy. I have to tell Brandon that we cannot steal the private data of our players and sell them to other companies. And Brandon will go, yeah, but Erie, they will give us a lot of money for that. And I say, yes, but that is not okay. In our ESG, the governance part, remember, it's not okay, it will be bad for reputation, and your daddy will not like that. And Brandon will go, oh, my daddy will not like that. I say, no, Brandon, daddy will not like that. And he goes, okay, Erie, you're a bit weird, but sometimes you have good ideas. And I'll say, yes, Brandon. This is hypothetical, okay? My opinion as a sustainability specialist and gamer is that there is a place and time to promote sustainability and work with sustainability, aka ESG, in the video game industry, but it has to be done right. I do not want sustainability and ESG to mess up with my gaming experience. As a gamer, I do not want something thrown in my face that will take me out of the experience. So for example, I was watching a movie a couple of weeks ago featuring a celebrity that is under a lot of fire, and she had this movie released on Netflix, and I watched it because I thought, why not? And it was okay. I had a good time. It was entertaining. I didn't think it was horrible. But the one thing that bothered me the whole time is that the main character, she was thrown out of a ship, and then she was in space, and then she was tumbled in the air, and then she crashed on this planet. She had a couple of battles in the movie, and her makeup was perfect the whole time. The hair was a bit messy, and at some point she had a tiny bit of blood on her forehead, and on the lips, for example, she was wearing some satin lipstick. Okay, stay focused. It was not glossy, it was not matte, it was in between satin, which is creamy, which will smudge. Even if you just do something light like this, it will not stay. And you cannot convince me that if you're being thrown out of a ship in space and then you tumble in the air and then you land and smash yourself on an unknown planet, that your lipstick, that is a soft satin lipstick, will stay like there properly and the makeup will be flawless. And she looked flawless most of the movie. And every time they did a close-up on her face, I was like, I got out of the movie and thrown back into reality, and I had to put myself back into the movie because that was so jarring to me, because I thought this is not realistic. The same goes for if you throw sustainability of any kind in a video game in my face and you're taking me out of the experience. For example, I really don't mind games like Alba or Lumberjack. I in fact love those games. But it's in the premise that you have to clean nature, save nature, help the animals, and especially Alba for learning Spanish and German, amazing, or if you want to learn French, amazing. It's just so freaking cute, and it's like summer vacation, and Lumberjack is super satisfying. I have talked about Lumberjack. I have a review somewhere, so I will put the link around. For example, if you look at Civilization 6, you have to take your CO2 levels into account. The waters will rise, and if you have cities close to waters, then you will have floods and it will be bad. And it's realistic because, well, you own the map, or at least you try to own the map. If you play like I play, you try to conquer everything. For me, I've never thought, oh, that has nothing to do in here, because it totally makes sense in there. And it is a smart way to show people that, yes, the amount of CO2 that we release will make some islands disappear in the future, and the people that live on those islands will suffer. They will lose their homes. You can be a one-person company and already work on your ESG. So are you treating yourself nicely? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you paying yourself properly? Are you turning off your devices when you're not doing your game so that you save energy? Do you have green energy in your apartment? So even if you're a one-person developer, one-person, you can tell I'm freestyling this video, can't you? Anyone can already start a little bit of ESG work, aka sustainability work, from a company that is 1 person to 20 people. People think sustainability is just something that the company will always lose money from. I totally disagree. I always take financial gains and financial losses into account, because companies are not charities. They're there to make profit. It's also not in my best interest if I work for a company and they lose a lot of money, because hey, they're the ones paying me, so I will also become unemployed or not receive a raise if the company tanks. You should definitely take money into account. Last but not least, I am creating my own consultancy company in sustainability. It is geared towards small to medium-sized businesses, so even if you're just 1 person or if you're up to 50 people, feel free to contact me at irymua@gmail.com for a free first consultation to discuss what we can do. My full website is still under construction, but don't hesitate to send me an email. And that's it for today's video, cookies. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up. If you did not, then leave me a thumbs down and write me a comment. Let me know why you did not like it. And subscribe if you don't want to miss the upcoming videos. And until next time, I will see you, cookies, very, very soon. Bye!